Hey everybody, it's Bart, the nature guy. I wanted to kind of go through a couple different things. I just finished my 20-minute sit in my sense room. That was a nature invitation that I just sent to you all. Um, and as I was sitting there, I noticed something, and I'll get to that in just a second. But when I take walks in the woods, even if they're just 30 or 40 minutes, I do bring a little bit of a pack with me just to carry some items for safety. I generally, when it's only 30 or 40 minutes, I generally don't bring water with me. But I do bring a little pack that has some items in it. I thought I'd go through that little pack with you a little bit. And so you can kind of see what I carry. I very rarely ever take it out except for snacks because I love snacks. And anybody that's listened to me in classes before knows I kind of am a little bit addicted to peanut nut rolls. But I'm actually going to use a wrapper for something today because I saw something in a video that I've shared with you all before, and I want to kind of put it into show you in real life what it looks like. But I'll do the pack first, and then we'll go to that the thing I found in the woods while I was sitting in my sense room way off in the distance. I actually noticed this and was like, you know what? It's right there. Let's do this right now. So here's my pack, and I just want to kind of go through it with you. So that's my fanny pack. So everybody needs a good fanny pack. Has a couple. It's not very big. It's actually pretty small. And like I said, I like myself a good peanut nut roll. Always delicious. I actually like them because they're cheap. I can go to the local hardware store in my area and I get two for $1. So there's a lot of nutritious bars out there, but this has got real peanuts in it, and it's a good protein source. It's got a little bit of sugar, which I like a little bit. So the other thing, don't eat it too often, but in Minnesota, there's only really one good season where things aren't cold. So I always usually have a little pack of hand warmers in case, for any reason, I'm out an extended period of time and my hands or feet get cold. I usually have that. I also have, again, I've said this before, I have 3 boys. Sometimes their hands get cold, and at least it gives you a sense of having something warm with you. I always carry some sort of little headlamp. This has a little clip on it that I can clip to my hat if I need to. If I'm having to work on something down by my feet, this clips onto the bill of my hat, and I can actually shine light down pretty easily without having to, especially if it's raining, not set this in the on the ground where it's raining. So, and I'm always checking the batteries every once in a while as well. Another thing I carry is a small emergency poncho. It might be something if you get caught in the rain, it's a huge help, but actually it's also if you do have an injury or safety issue, not only could it be a signal because it's a bright color, but it also might mean if you have an injury where there's you don't want to get it contaminated with like dirt or anything. If it's an exposed wound, you can actually sit on this and work on that wound without having the dirt or the leaves or anything like that get on the wound, and kind of clears out a little area that you can sit on. So also just for sitting, and it's a nice waterproof thing to sit on, especially if you find a really cool spot to sit, like a sense room. With the invitation we just did, you can use this as just kind of a place to sit and just wrap it up when you get back done. Another thing I oftentimes have with me is a little notebook. So this is a little metal case with a little tiny notebook, a little tiny pen attached there. Just in case I want to draw something, I think of something out in the woods that I want to pursue a little bit more. Maybe it's a quote or a story or just a little sketch. So I always have a little notebook. And also if you do get lost and people are looking for you, you can actually leave notes behind on where you were at, when you were there. That way if you are like trying to find your way out, people have a little bit of sense of what you're doing as well. So you can kind of definitely educate people on your whereabouts in those situations. Lastly, I have a safety whistle. It comes with a compass on the front end. There are matches and a little striker available on this side, and then it has the whistle piece. So if for some reason I'm injured, I'm not able to speak very well, let's say I fell and broke a rib and I don't have a lot of juice, it's got a real easy way, and that type of sound cuts through the woods a lot. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is that thing I saw in the woods that I wanted to, if you have seen one of the videos I did on the long-term survival with the guy that was in the eastern woods, he talked about cutting a wild grapevine and getting water from it. And so I actually ran into a wild grapevine, wanted to share that with you. and it is dripping water right now. So I got to work on it before the video. And if I were in a situation where I didn't have a canteen, like I said, I don't oftentimes carry water if I'm on a 30-minute walk. But let's say I got injured, I broke my ankle, I wasn't able to move, and I did find the grapevine, I would use something like this wrapper to try to gather that water, and I can actually get 2, 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons at a time. And if that's what I needed to do, I could do that. So here's the vine, here's that cut, and it is dripping water right now. I don't know if you can kind of see that, but it's actually just going to drip right into my salted nut roll wrapper. And actually, it's been a couple minutes now. When I first cut this, it was dripping, even from the top, it was dripping substantially. But over time, over a couple hours, you know, I'm going to take a little sip now. And it definitely, his description of the water was right on, kind of like a little bit of a grapey flavor. I study foraging. Please do not go out in the woods and start looking at vines and cutting them open and drinking their water. I need to tell you that right away. You can get yourself really sick. So unless you have studied foraging, understand what's out there in the woods, you all have heard me say this again, you can't just be like 100% positive that of what you're grabbing. You have to be 200% positive. You have to be absolutely sure of the things that you partake in out of the wild. Most of us have not studied that very well. So I really wanted to show you more as an example, more than I want you to go do it. You really have to understand what you're doing out here. Otherwise, you can actually get yourself more sick, and then you're stranded even more. So take care, everybody. I wanted to show you a little bit about what's in my pack when I go on a little walk like this in the woods. And number 2, I saw the wild grapevine and wanted to show you that example that some of you have seen in classes when I've shared that video of a survivalist that went into the woods for 3 or 4 days. So I thought it was a good opportunity. Take care. Hope everybody's feeling well. I hope this video finds you, your friends and family all in good health right now during this time. So take care. Peace out. Bye-bye.